أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أحلى أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، الحي بمعنى كل حي، قيوم بغير عمل، دائم بملكه وملكه، عالم لا سر ولا جهر له، هو عالم الغيب والشهادة وهو عليم بذات الصدور. وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على سيدنا إبراهيم وعلى آل سيدنا إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. أما بعد، فإن الخير الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار. يا عباد الله، أوصيكم بتقوى الله والسمع والطاعة. Obedience of Allah, brothers and sisters in Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. one in his essence, he is one without equal, he is one without associate, he is one without counterpart, he is one that has been and will continue to be. There is no point of attachment to the existence of Allah, and there is no point of termination. He is unique in all attributes of His, and there is none comparable to Him. ليس كمثله شيء في الأرض ولا في السماء وهو السميع العليم. I testify to the messengership of Maulana Mustafa Muhammad, the best of mankind, the one whom Allah raised at a point when the world is in the sphere of poor, when the right of the poor is being trampled upon, and when the peace means the entire world. He came to salvage the situation. He passed the message without mincing words, without thinking of who it affects or otherwise. He delivered the message of Allah even when it was against his person. That is the Maulana Mustafa Muhammad. Your messenger, my messenger, the messenger that will never, a messenger that there will be known after him. May the peace and salutations of Allah be upon him. Our khutbah today, inshallah, is titled Justice or Injustice. Which one? Having considered that the hope of any nation resides in the youth. When things are going right, we should consider what the attitude of the youth is. And when things are going bad, we should look at that. We recall that during the time of Prophet Nuh, he never lost hope in the fact that things will change for better until when a child, a baby, born by a woman, when baby asked the mother, "Get me a stone. What do you want to do with the stone?" "I went to throw it to this old man." Who is that old man? That is Prophet Nuh. At that instance, Prophet Nuh felt bad that the hope is in the youth that are upcoming. If a child that cannot walk is as terrible in mind and in actions like this, then what is left? They asked Allah to destroy the world. Therefore, Prophet Muhammad he came and Allah has promised him that such discussion will not come again. That is why we want to look at justice or injustice. Which way? We have seen injustice to be the root of all crises. Injustice is the essence of all evils we find in the society. As far as mention any bad act, you will trace it to injustice. And that is why we intend to address the issue of injustice, expose a little to us, so that the youth can have a change of mind and prepare to change what we have in the nation of ours. Injustice is defined as placing something where it does not belong, putting something, matter, words, or actions in a place that it does not belong. It belongs to what we call injustice. If we want to understand injustice, we may also think of what is the opposite of that injustice, and that is justice. Allah said in our Quran, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, kunu qawwamina lillahi shuhada'a bil qist, wa la yajrimannakum shana'anu qawmin ala alla ta'dilu i'dilu wa aqrab lit-taqwa wattaqullaha inna Allaha khabirun bima ta'malun. All you will believe, stand up firmly in witness to what is just, uphold justice, support justice, preach justice, and also act justly. Do not allow hatred that exists between you and any other person to prevent you from being just. Therefore, irrespective of whom it affects, tribe or nation, family or friends or enemy, justice must be done. Justice does not connote equality, but it connotes balancing, putting things in equilibrium manner, because Allah has created the rich and the poor, the led and the leader. It is an equilibrium system. What they are having is not equal, but is giving, Allah has given to each what the person will need to survive. We discover that injustice has a tendency of all beings, animals or otherwise. But Islam has come to correct that, and that is the issue we are addressing today. That by definition, we have said putting something where it does not belong, putting it in an inappropriate place, and by terminology, it also connotes, injustice also connotes seizure of other people's property, insulting or abusing others, and forgetting property that does not belong to you. All this is wrongdoing which are regarded as injustice. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Hadith al-Qudusi, said the first law he enacted is that Inni aramtu zulma ala nafsi. After he has created mankind, the first law he ordained on himself was the law of justice. I have made injustice haram, unlawful unto me. Therefore, if Allah who has the ability to do and undo can make it as a law on himself, he outlawed himself to be unjust to mankind. Then he now said, amongst you, do not perpetrate injustice. In Islamic context, injustice is contained in its totality. Islam abhors injustice in whatever form. And that is why several places in the Quran, several stories of people that have passed that engage in injustice, Allah revealed them to us, and through that, we know that Islam abhors injustice. You imagine how we treat one another in the process of employment, appointment, promotion, and the rest. Sometimes these are done without justice. Without justice to the person it is given to, and without justice to the person to whom it is deprived. When you give something that does not belong to somebody, some other people will reap the reward of it. The inability of that person to perform when it comes to the point of performance. And not only him will reap the reward, the consequence of it will be on the generality of all. Sometimes also, retirement or retrenchment is not on the basis of the rules of the game, but whom do you hate or whom do you like. Even when it is done that way, a lot of people will also reap in the outcome of such actions. And we are not ignorant of all this in our society. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in our Quran, وَلَقَدْ أَهْلَكْنَا الْقُرُونَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَمَّا ظَلَمُوا وَجَاءَتْهُمْ رُسُلُهُم بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ وَمَا كَانُوا لِيُؤْمِنُوا كَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْقَوْمَ الْمُجْرِمِينَ. Sadaqallahu al-Azim. Allah said, don't you wonder, don't you reflect that thousands of people or generations have passed before you that we have destroyed? Why? On account of injustice. On account of injustice. I just mentioned the people of Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, just injustice. That is why Allah destroyed that generation. And there are thousands of that have passed. That is nations. Individually, we have also seen in our history, and some of us are also witness to some individuals that they have also perpetrated injustice. And within very short time, Allah meted out the repercussion of that onto them. That is how Allah made out his punishment on the wrongdoers. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in one hadith, riwayah Imam Muslim, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inna dunya qudwatun qadratun wa inna Allaha mustaqallibakum wa inna Allaha mustaqallifukum fiha fanazirun kayfa ta'malun ittaqu dunya wattaqu nisa. وإن أول فتنة من بني إسرائيل كانت من النساء. رواه Muslim. Allah said, He said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created us as firstborns on earth, to inherit the earth, to be representative on earth, that we live on earth. Allah created us there and created a lot of enjoyments for us therein. And He did all these provisions He made for us is for Him to see who among us will be best in conduct. And He now said, be conscious of this world, beware of this world, beware of the temptation of this world, and beware of the temptation of the women. Because the first fitna Allah put among the Bani Israel is the fitna of women. Therefore, injustice is one of the major problems of our society. Allah has destroyed so many communities. Somewhere He said, إِنَّهُ لَا يُبْلِي الظَّالِمِينَ. It's the wrong verse. And as long as human Allah Akbar, Al-Qadda bi-ayatin. إِنَّهُ لَا يُبْلِي الظَّالِمِينَ. That those who perpetrate injustice will never try. They will never find happiness. They will never be successful. Whoever perpetrates that. And these are the promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In the principles and practices of Islam, injustice is condemned in its totality. And injustice has different places. Generally, or conservatively, we divide injustice into three. The injustice man do between him and his Lord, and that is disbelief in Allah, polytheism, hypocrisy. All these are attributes of injustice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you do not worship the one that you're supposed to worship, is an injustice to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the promise of Allah about them is that they will all be punished and the hellfire will be their abode. In Allah, la yaghfiru an yushraka bihi wa yaghfiru ma duna dhalika liman yasha. Allah will never forgive whoever associate partner with Allah. It has an injustice between a created being and the creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And for the Luqman, when he was addressing his child, that is the same thing he called him unto, that he should not associate any partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second level of injustice is the injustice you want does to oneself. It is also possible to be unjust to oneself. And when Allah talked about Prophet Musa alayhi salam, after the episode when he was about helping or separating the two fighting one among his people and the other one from Bani Israel, the other one died. Prophet Musa alayhi salam, he saw this as a sin, as he committed against his soul, and he called unto Allah, قال رب إني reward unto Allah. And as Muslims, Allah also informed us that we are divided into three on the basis of how much justice do you uphold, or how much injustice do you do. Allah said in Surah Al-Fatiha, ثم أورثنا الكتاب الذين اصطفينا من عبادنا فمنهم ظالم لنفسه ومنهم مقتصد ومنهم سابق بالخيرات بإذن الله ذلك هو الفضل الكبير. Quran chapter 5 verse 32. Allah says, and we made them to inherit the book الذين اصطفينا من عبادنا, among those whom we are choosing among our servants, فمنهم, among those who are giving the book unto, that is Al-Quran, فمنهم ظالم لنفسه, among them are those who are unjust to their own soul. They are unjust to their own soul. فمنهم مقتصد, and there are those that they are in between, a little justice, a little injustice. And ومنهم سابق بالخيرات بإذن الله, and among them are those who are offered injustice and they are foremost. Muhammad sallallahu told us about these people. He said, the people that are in foremost, they are the people that will enter paradise without giving any account. And those who are in the middle course, they are the people that will enter, but they will account for every bit of their deed. And the third group, those who have wronged their own soul, who are unjust to their own soul, these people, they will enter hellfire. They will enter hellfire until every other person will enter paradise, and the angels will be looking at hellfire. Is there anybody who has any outer of faith in them? And they will be brought out and they will be presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they will have tasted hellfire before that Allah will take their ransom. And the third category, and that is where the problem of our society today, that is the injustice of leadership, injustice of the ruler, the injustice of the judge. That is the problem of today. We have no business as a nation, Nigeria, for example, to be poor. For what Allah has granted this nation in terms of human and material resources, yet we are wallowing in abject poverty in the midst of plenty. Even those who have, they are facing the problem of insecurity, lack of confidence in themselves, and lack of confidence in those who are surrounding them. Why? Because we have allowed injustice among ourselves. The easiest person to uphold justice is a leader, because he's in control of the law. He has the ability to implement the law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet it is not so. Let us give some examples. Some weeks back in this nation of ours, somebody somewhere in one part of the country stole vegetables and he was arrested. Stealing what? Vegetable. And was arraigned before the law court. After the trial, he was found guilty of the offense. They evaluated or valued the vegetable he sold, whether valued rightly or wrongly. The cost was put at 5,000 naira. 5,000 naira. And at the end of the judgment, he was sentenced to 10 years, 2 years imprisonment, or 10,000 naira fine. The person that did not go and steal a car, did not rob bank, he needs maybe one person to eat. In Sharia, we have to examine what has pushed him to stealing vegetables. Yet, he was given 2 years imprisonment or an option of 10,000 naira. He who stole 5,000 naira vegetable, is it likely to have 10,000 naira? The implication is that he is already condemned to 2 years imprisonment. Somebody, a week after, another judgment delivered in this same nation of ours about somebody who confessed of embezzling a sum of about 33 billion naira belongs to you 1,000 naira. Can you see the magnitude of injustice? And on what excuse was he sentenced to that ridiculous amount? Because he has aged parents, he has children, he has dependents, co-leaders of our nations. Let us be just. The only way by which we can see the mercy of Allah for what He has created is to be just. There is no silent cow, but in that judgment, say, Lord God, a week interval, look at that two judgment. It is horrible, but that is what we do among ourselves. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. In this second segment of this program, we want to see the consequences of injustice. Time will not permit to rush through few of them. Consequences of injustice. Let us take one that concerns you and me. Self-destruction. Injustice will bring about self-destruction. I give an example. Consider that person that has gone to vandalize pipeline. The commodity that belongs to everybody, it is an injustice. It gets where there is serious leakage, in an attempt to screw the fire engulfed. If fire erupts there, what happens? It will also be engulfed. Thousands of people have been killed through the process of fire like that in this nation of ours. Self-destruction. And when you even acquire it wrongfully, when you are unjust and you acquire the wealth, it never lasts. And that's one of Allah said, that is the similitude of the houses. We see the houses in town. Don't you see the houses? It will be deserted. That nobody will want to claim to even be living there or the ownership. If you want to sell somebody's rent to buy it, it's difficult for you to own. Because you have acquired it unjustly. That is how that will be the consequence of that. Allah said, لكنهم لما ظلموا وجعلنا لمهلكهم موعدا. Allah is never forgetting anybody. He only give man respite a little, and everybody will taste out of the handiwork he has committed. Allah has never forget anybody. There was this report, health implication of injustice. There was this report by WHO in 2008, and which was presented to UN. That report summarized that there is connection between life expectancy and justice or injustice. That where the higher the level of injustice, the lower the life expectancy age of people there. And that it is likely that the African nations, the life expectancy there will be lower because there are a lot of injustice going on. I now ask myself, why will it not be so? We are under psychological stress most of the time. Psychological stress kills more than the death itself. And it is not to ashadu mean a parent that cannot boast of education for his children, of food for the children, why will he not die younger than his age? He will even age than his age, because all the time he is troubled by the injustice. And in fact, I will read in part the conclusion of that report of WHO. He said, injustice has brought down life expectancy, and that low incomes, poor education, bad housing, and a failure to curb junk food and adopt healthy transport policies are all contributory factors to lower life expectancy in this part of the world. Therefore, all these are problems are facing us in this part of the world. And yes, no soul will pass away except its appointed time has reached. Agree. But you can live as if you are not living when you are living under fear or poverty. There are other causes. What is the way out? Time has gone. We have some solutions, but the only one we take is that let us hate the system that supports injustice. Because the problem is first because when injustice is done to us, we hate it. But when we benefit from act of injustice committed by somebody else, we love it. We will not complain. Let us complain. I listened to a program this morning in one of the radio stations, and the old man was saying that there was a nation around us here that the transformation that came was from the youth. When the child can tell the mother, Daddy, if you do it again, I will report you. Mommy, the next time I see you doing that, I will report you. By the time he says that 3 times, he's already reporting and they're already picking up the mother. Who can do that amongst us? When your father is committing injustice, your friend is committing injustice, and you know, because you are benefiting from it, don't you say he's doing it right? There are those people, they are fond of complaint. Is that not our attitude to it? Youth, to change these things that is happening around us here. Insecurity of getting job, insecurity of living happily, insecurity of life and property when you even get the job. If you have to change that, it is you and me that we have to resolve that what we need to do is to be judged in all actions, no matter who it affects and how it affects them. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا ربنا لا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على